Yo, am I on? Yes, I think I'm on. It's finally, yo, this is the third time I tried this thing. We went with the vertical today. We are on the phone. What's good? How are we doing? What's the deal? Welcome to How Billy Sees It. I believe this is day 3 of my 30-day series. The 30-day series of How Billy Sees It, called Say It September. All day, all September, 30 days straight. I'm gonna be on here. And in a couple of days, I'm actually going up to Montreal to see a good friend of mine, Jesse, get married. I'm very proud and happy, and I can't wait to see that wedding and see that marriage go down. And so, I'm gonna be using the phone when I get on there, when I'm over there. So I was like, let's try that out now, and let's get maybe comfortable with this, yo. This is actually kind of cool. I'm on the porch right now. I know typically I'm at the computer in the office, and being on the porch, just it's a different energy. It's a different vibe altogether. Hopefully the Wi-Fi holds up out here, and there's so much more to be inspired by, I guess, while we talk, yo. So we'll see, man. I might do this more often. What's good? What up? We got a washer. We got a washer and we got a dryer, but the dryer was electric. The dryer was electric when we needed what do we need? Instead of electric, they need a what? I can't remember. Jesus. Anyway, we had to go get a different dryer. So today, for the first time, I'm using our washer that we just got. Typically, we go to the laundromat and stuff, but yeah, felt good. It's like when I be mowing the lawn out here, I feel like a homeowner. I feel like a grown man. Look at me. So I was doing laundry like, did it. Check me out doing laundry. What's up, yo? What's the deal? It's How Billy Sees It. And I think I named this thing Who Cares? I think I named this thing Who Cares, yo. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? You know? And I wanted to name it that. I don't really know where this goes. I don't really have any notes anyway, but I'm going to just wing it and see what's up. Who cares? I feel like I've had changed relationship with a phrase like who cares. I've always kind of been like the dude that cared about stuff, you know? If somebody was getting bullied or whatever, I would care. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like littering, whatever, in the neighborhood, you're like, who cares? Like, come on, yo. Why? There's a garbage can right here, yo. Put this shit in the garbage can, you know? Who cares? I always felt like apathy was a problem. I always felt like I couldn't imagine a world where people didn't care, people didn't have concern, didn't put in any effort, didn't try. I felt like that would be a shitty space. And I always kind of knew that if, what I wanted out there I would have to embody that myself, you know. I know that in a deep way now. I know that more than I ever knew that. But I think I intuited that a long time ago. And I tried to care. But not a but. This is not a but. This is a linguistic thing here. Yeah, this is a funny linguistic challenge I want to point out, because I don't want to say a but and like as if to pivot or to say that there's to counter something. I'm in a place now where I feel like I see the value of not caring. Yeah. I think even when I'm talking about these other things when I'm younger, it's not just caring about things out there. I also very much cared about how I was perceived. I think these are package deal kind of thing. The person it's a package deal. So part of that, what came was like a very strong internal critique, and I cared. I wanted to be seen as the right kind of person. I was raised with my mom very much to be mindful of doing the wrong thing, about the need to be really good. You got to be extra good, and you got to care, and you got to be on top of things, you know? And I just find that one of the challenges of life, like life is more complex than these mantras. You can develop a mantra about or a philosophy about care, and I think it would be a good thing to have that. But life is more complex, and things develop and things evolve, and sometimes it's, you know, your particular growth, my particular growth involves engaging with the opposite of that. Really, like I'm reminded, it's like it's just a crazy fucking thing. If you really think about it, if you really have time and you're old enough that you've been through different cycles in your life, you can look back and see how things had to happen. You went through a thing, you might have believed something very much. You might have been very, very, very passionate about a certain thing for a certain period, and then it runs up against the edge of it, and then you learn, you know, unless you don't learn, if you stick at that thing and you really are committed to it, you might never learn that the next step is around the other way. You actually have to lean into its opposite. I think it's a principle of life. I think it's a principle of this paradoxical experience we call consciousness, is the need to engage with one thing and then its opposite. To engage with all of it. It's like in my 20s, man, I was a big grinder. I was a big, oh boy, Jesus Christ. I'm not talking about the app. I'm talking about, I grinded with work. I had lots of clients, and I had a small business, and I was committed to the idea of juggling this business and working really hard. I would work 19-hour days, you know what I'm saying, 7 days a week, grinding and da-da-da. And man, where I am now, I'm so glad I'm so glad that I've traversed that and gotten through that and gotten over that. And actually, the way I am, this is what the thing with the but, right? I don't want to say but as a contrast and say that there's something wrong with that. I'm glad that I went through that, and I now know that my process, my growth in this moment has something to do with rest, has something to do with the opposite of grinding, has something to do with the opposite of this get the bag chasing, client organizing and negotiating, business presentation. I wanted to present myself as a businessman and all this stuff. Like I am now experiencing life in an alternate space, which I'm leaning into my creativity, and I'm leaning into my rest. I'm leaning into the power of boundaries and rest. I definitely felt like when I was in that grind mode that boundaries was a problem for me. Boundaries, I had a mentality of saying yes to every project. You know, if they had a budget of some sort, thankfully I was in a group of people where, you know, we had clients with significant budgets, but even the smaller budgets, I was like, I can find something for you. I can figure something out, you know, do something. And the way I work and what I would do, I would actually be providing great value, you know, for them, but there's no boundaries. I was always like, I took pride in this stuff. At the end of the year, I wanted a big spreadsheet of all these clients and all these projects I'd worked on. That was the marker for success, was that it was constantly busy, you know? Man, do I now come at it with a like respect for that period and a love for that person and a respect for anybody who feels that they need to go through that in this moment, or they're going through it in their lives, but to know that, man, there's more to it. That's not the only way to be. That's not, you know, there's no moral superiority in grinding yourself into the ground. There's no moral, you know, I used to feel good. It used to feel good that I felt busy. Again, when I first started, I had no clients. I was all product, all service, no, what's it called? Yeah, no clients. All supply, no demand. That's what I want to say. And then when I found some demand, when I found people that were interested in what I was doing, My mindset was I'm gonna do it to death. But no, we have to evolve. We evolve. Things evolve. Things are different. No, none of these mantras are consistent. Some people might need to not rest. Some people might have picked up a early rest concept and have established rest and a kind of ease with what is, an acceptance of what is, wherever they are, you know. And they might have picked that up first, and if that's great, if that works for them, that's great. But if they want something more, they will have to move into the active mindset. They will have to move into the space that I just left. You know what I'm saying? To engage something new, to make something new happen, you know? And that's the flow of things. And when we're watching each other, when we see each other, we engage with each other, we don't know where anybody's at. We don't know where anybody's at. We don't know where anybody's at on their journey in this thing that I'm talking about. Why did the grind, why was that attractive to me? It's a complex story, you know? E.T. the hip-hop preacher is somebody I used to catch on YouTube, and I just loved his energy and the way he conveyed the need to get up and go. And I take pride in getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I take pride in the fact that, you know, people would get up at 7, 8, and I had already accomplished, I would say I already accomplished more than most people before they even get up. And then I would grind until 11 p.m., blah, 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 doing all these things, very busy, so busy even that I had to challenge even lunch. Even lunch was too much. A break for lunch, an hour? Come on, bro, I gotta be productive, you know? I want to be productive every second of the day. That was the mindset, and you know. But you evolve, and so the evolution for me is, I think some of that had to do in tune with like I said, caring. I wanted to. There were lots of things I wanted to do and accomplish. There's lots of things I wanted to prove to people and to myself, and that I didn't know it at the time, but as that stuff is driving me and I'm doing that, I'm making choices, I'm doing things, and what came out is what came out, and where I am now is where I am now. And man, it's important to not get stuck in that mantra, in that way of thinking. That's how I see it. And so part of the current space I'm in includes just a release, a letting go of of all of it, including a kind of caring. Who cares? Who fucking cares, yo? Who fucking cares? I say a kind of caring because I still hold to that first, to the principle of the need for people to care. I still care about things. I still move with care and intention. I'm still aware and a caring person. But what freedom and power do I now possess when I let go the desire, when I let go the grind, the effort, the care of a kind. Sometimes we're talking about care, I'm talking about who cares about something that happens in the external world, who cares about the external world, but I'm talking about even like care about, you know, how I'm seen, you know, this anxiety about what do I look like? You know what I'm saying? What do I look like? How are people seeing me? Do I come off this way? Do I come off that way? Who cares? Do I come off cocky if I do this? Am I am I too much? Was that insulting if I blah, blah, blah? Who cares? Who cares? You know? If I'm making music, I'm 42 making music. What? Making rap? Oh boy. Who cares? Who cares? I had some serious anxiety around that, actually, about what I look like, making rap, what kinds of things people might say. Man, am I so lucky. It was serious for a couple days, and then I was able to laugh it off and do my thing and find my space and define it my way. So even the idea of whatever the rap, whatever I'm thinking about, like how can I don't have to do that. Who cares? Who cares about the visions, the images, or whatever? I'm me. I can operate on my own fucking thing, and that you can. Who cares? We've been trained to care very much about certain things that aren't really pertinent to us. And I think if we really were to examine it deeply, if we were to engage with ourselves, we would realize that they're not meaningful to us. We actually don't have to give that kind of energy. You can refine yourself. You can be an even more refined tool than what you've been told. Once you let go of the markers, the way you judge the external world, and the way you judge yourself internally. The assumptions you're making about how you're being seen, or how you will be seen if you were to do X, Y, and Z, the blocks that you create to avoid being seen outside the normal, avoid being seen. Who cares, yo? I find that people really just want to know you, and I think you should engage with that. You should accept that. When I say you, I mean you. I really don't mean some other version of you. I don't mean some perfect version of you. I don't mean the perfect you. I don't mean the super articulate you. I don't mean the most dolled up or the most polished you. I mean the you. Once we can let go of caring, these kinds of things open up. The evolution. It was good to care. It is good to care. Now refine the care. Don't care in the same way, because you don't have to. You're creating it. You're actually creating it. You create that. You set yourself up for the feeling. I don't know. Again, man, I think these are cycles. I think these are periods. I had to go through the period of caring the way that I did, how I did. Period of effort. And I learned a ton through that. And I developed skill sets through that. And I developed grit, and good things happened through that. And it is the question of who cares is a good one to ask, particularly if you are someone who feels burdened by a lot of the world's judgment, a lot of the world's expectations. I always say, man, like, I have this, like, who am I? You know what I'm saying? Like, I respond to all these things. I respond to the external world in all of these ways as it reaches to me. It reaches out to me as a journalist. It reaches out to me as a animator. It reaches out to me as a creative. My mom reaches out to me. The bank reaches out to me. You know what I'm saying? With expectations. They have a number they classified me as. And, like, very important not to be too wound up in all of those personas, all of those ways of being. They're all parts of you. You know what I'm saying? And Sheba wants me in a certain way, my wife, and I know, but we who am I in full? And the best way to think about, the best way I found to get to that full place is to let go. This speaks to the measurement. It means to let go. It means to let go of caring. I'm talking very precise caring. That's what I'm trying to, like, this is why I'm going to take this to the full half hour. This is going to be a half-hour episode, y'all. Because I want to hammer home this precise type of care that I'm talking about, that I think we can let go of, and we should let go of, and it's necessary, and it's part of an evolution. And then I hope people can see how it's also part of the authenticity conversation that we're continuing, that we've been having. It's part of the stop measuring conversation. It's another way to talk about the same concept, about how measurement is itself a warping of the reality, and it creates a kind of consciousness for us, a kind of a lens. So again, some people might not resonate with this, but I urge people to consider, particularly in a world that wants to teach you the exact opposite, a fragmented world created by fragmented news media outlets pursuing their own separate, selfish aims, fragmented by products that want to sell different things to you, and they're committed to selling that to you, and a politics that wants to fragment us, wants to pull you away from yourself. It wants to pull you away from yourself, actually, from your fullest, freest self. It wants to label you and categorize you, and it wants you to be making choices concerned about how the outside world perceives you. I mean, that's once they got you doing that, then you're not able to actually move in your best interest. You're not able to really assess things. I don't know. I do think that you need to evolve. I think that evolution is key. So again, if you come up with this, if you've been through the grind mindset as I have, as so many of us probably have, know that that culture might not go anywhere. They're looking for a new young crop of kids to get them in there and get them grinding and get them using AI and trying to, make 16 websites. You can make 16 websites in 5 minutes, and you can make an app. And they got an AI joint. I saw this AI thing. They said you can make an app, a phone app, just by, in a sentence, just tell it something. And it was like, okay, so then what do you do? What is this app about? So you're excited about Apple, well, what? You make this app. I don't understand how the app can be meaningful in a sentence. Let's say you make it a complex sentence and you got a thorough app. So you got, and then they're like, so that means you can make 20 apps. You don't have to code. You don't have to, but what? What is the root value, what is the thing, They want you to care about all these things. They want you to move and be riled up and interested in this and that. Gotta let go. You gotta ask who cares. Let's see here. Sheba says, no, who do I got on here? Can I zoom in? I can't even read this chat, yo. It says, who cares? We need men who are about the right things. Duality, yes. I'm not sure who's saying that, but I appreciate that. Yeah. Duality, man. Everything, it's one side and then it's the other side. It's not one thing. So when they teach this stuff about your competitors and the capitalists, who wants it more? Like, that's great and that's valuable. And I think especially as an active, as the masculine energy of action and creation and action, I fuck with that. But it's not the whole thing. There has to be a duality in a realm that engages with rest and engages with ease and engages with peace, oneness, calm. Yeah. So I just feel really blessed to be in this headspace. And I also feel blessed to be in this headspace with the experience of the grind to have as a contrast, so I can appreciate this experience better. And also that I can actually, like, it's another tool. It's more tools in my tool belt. I'm grateful that at 42, you know, it seems to me that the universe is trying to tell me that I need to lean into my rest and lean into my happiness and to lean into the things that I want to do. Like the things I legit get excited to do is my way forward. And the only way I could come to that conclusion is by letting go of caring about the things that I don't care about, the things that I was taught to care about, things I was told to care about, things that I used to believe that I should care about. And again, it's weird to talk about this because I really do think people need to care. I think we should care about Gaza. I think we should care about free speech in the United States. We should care about creeping fascism. I think we should care about women's rights. We should care about the attacks on the Smithsonian and history and the attempts by Trump to have U.S. history commandeered by, instead of PBS, we'll have PragerU. If anyone knows what PragerU is. I mean, we should care about all these things. Care about genocide. We should care about all these things, and the strength and the power, the energy, the capacity to actually deal with these things and to engage with these things somehow is tied to actually not caring. That's what I saw in that clip where Joe Budden says that Mark Lamont Hill scares him, because Mark Lamont Hill brought up that every journalist in Palestine, every journalist at Al Jazeera was murdered. Joe Budden goes, changes the subject. He can't deal with it because he cares about a certain set of things, you know. And it's not necessarily like, what did he transition to? He transitioned to Young Thug's music project. No, you should care about music. We should care about music. We should care about the arts. I didn't mention that before. I mentioned a bunch of political shit earlier. We should care about things that are much more abstract than that, you know. We should care about things we don't even know about. I mean, the scope of what's going on in this world, this universe, is insane, man. We are taught to think about ourselves in such a narrow and tiny way. But it's purposeful, it's intentional. We've been taught it intentionally, you know? And so, yeah, who cares? Who cares? Free yourself of caring to be validated and to be seen in a certain light, and where certain groups of people, the ones that you're familiar with, you know, all the anxieties you have are related to this sort of playing within the boundaries of these expectations of the people, of a certain group of people, when it's freer than that. You're freer than that. Fuck all that, man. Who cares? And when you say who cares, and you really mean it, and you engage with who cares, and you free yourself through that, I think you actually get the space and the energy, the room to care again and to reframe it. Because, as I said, everything is cyclical, everything is duality, everything is a process, and it's grind and rest are both important. People who never, you know, engage with active choice and active, like, imposing their will on the world as well, they're at a deficit. If you only engage with a kind of rest, you need both. You need both, and that to me is a big proposition of what it means to be human. I like it as a proposition of what it means to be masculine. I've been trying to engage with like what masculine means. Masculine to me has to include that active building and creation, that masculine creation, as well as rest, feelings, all those things that I was told to discard. That stuff, discarding that limited me. I was caring about the wrong things. Or maybe not, right? I was caring about what I cared about at the time, but I have a fuller picture. You know, I have a fuller picture. That's the right story, man. That's the story that I don't have to say the wrong. I don't have to discard what that experience was. You know, I can accept it and realize that, man, I'm even better equipped now, and I'm so lucky to be that. That's about it. It's been 30 minutes. The moon is out. Feeling good. Thanks for being with me. I'm on again tomorrow, going 30 days straight. How Billy sees it. Peace and love. That's just how I see it, yo. Huh?